Hello, welcome to Wildcraft. I haven't done an update in a bit, but I've been busy, cracking on with the wildfire management plan that has to be executed by mid-April deadline, definitely by the 1st of May, because the reason the council got onto me in the first place when I had to do the appeal was because there was a wildfire on the Purple Morex. I got called out and the fire guy, he was like, oh, I've just been on a course, and especially with these plantations, because Forestry Commission, they don't manage over 40% of their plantations, so they don't know how it works. You know, farms have had to diversify, as in like provide sort of more social as well as agricultural services, like I don't know, petting goats, and there's a goat yoga in Helm Shore, and they put the goat in front of the camera and people sponsor and stuff like that, and people are doing yoga in the field with a goat going about, so they have to diversify because there's not as much money like that. So they're putting out like this thing called the Woods to Work Innovation Fund to collect data to relearn how people are using them, and if there's any ideas, like, you know, the ideas that have been recording through this channel. So the wildfire management plan, what's it for? I'm gonna get walking, but all the trees were planted on the public right away, so I've tried my best to keep to the original one, but this is a concession. This mostly gets used by mountain bikers. See, left a bit of a mess here, but the overhead danger is out now. All them trees that you've seen on the other video, I just need to tidy up that, but I'm down with the gang today, so we're working on the workshop gallery area to start making fence posts and signs and way signs, and yeah, so the way signs will mark where you're supposed to be, where the working areas are, and things like that. So just have to cut through that bit and make that path clear, but all of the duty of care for the immediate danger, trees falling on people's head, has been addressed now. So to the wildfire management plan now. So that's all about the Purple Morex, and I got called out to it. And if you don't graze or manage the land, then once there's a fire, it destroys all this other seed in the seed bed, and it loves fire. It has a tussock forming deciduous perennial, so it means like it sprouts from the roots, and it likes fire because once there is a fire, it boosts its biomass. It just means the stuff that can be used as fuel, and the seed production times by 6 times, so that's why it's able to dominate and take over, and I suppose it's in the name, the Moor Witch or Moor Hex. It's like you leave your land, you come back to it, and bloody hell, nothing else will grow. So you have to really get cows on it to trample it, and because controlled burning, it likes it. So yeah, the reason the council got on to me with the change of land use thing, and now thinking about it, you know, it is a community woodland. It has been used part of, you know, that for a long time, over 30 years anyway. You can tell from, if you look on Google Earth history images, that there's, you know, the concession that goes along that for recreational purposes. So we should have said that at the time, but anyway, that's past. So this is all tinder, so I could show you photos of it all burnt, but just trying to be quick with this one. But that all set on fire. So charcoal making, I like the idea of that, because it's like fighting fire with fire. Charcoal making is an essential part of the woodland management plan, because it accomplishes 5 things. So it's getting rid of the forest fuel, the stuff that can set on fire in the forest, because that's what you make charcoal at. Jasper, come here! And then you also need to cover it in turf and a layer of this so the earth don't fall through. So you're getting rid of the fire fuel here. And also with digging the turf, you can dig it along the boundary so it doesn't jump from a neighbour's boundary or across too. Also with digging turf along the edge, you make a fire line, so it's like even if this does all set on fire, no fuel there, and it can't spread to the trees. Now when the fire well, there were loads of them up. It turns out I knew one of them, a mate from where we used to live in Backup. But he was saying he'd just been on a course because the year previous they were the Winter Hill fire. That's a fire of 7 square metre radius, burned for 42 days, killed a load of livestock, and then you can't put your livestock on the fields, and then the purple morex done its thing, and you know, and then there were fires after as well. So I don't know what the figure is that got used out of public funds, but there's that element, and then it destroyed all the wildlife with nothing to return to. So it's chaos and a big issue. 42 days for a fire. So they've had to, so he'd been on a course and he was saying, because I was saying, it won't burn, it's green wood, and he's like, no, I've just been on a course and it's these plantations now at this age. One of the products from spruce is turpentine and naphtha. Naphtha's it's lighter fluid and Coleman's gas. Jasper, come on! So once it gets to a certain heat in there on a hot day, it gets to a gas point and it's all up because it hasn't been thinned. The fuel sources. So there's the surface fuel, which is what can ignite what they call the ladder fuel, and the ladder fuel creeps up the tree and then gets to the crown. Once it gets to the crown, that's the hardest bit to put out because you can't reach up there, and all of the interlocking crown tops of the trees it'll start spreading along there, and with the surface stuff as well. But these do act as a windbreak. Jasper, come on! Oh, bloody hell. I wanted to show you it now, but I'm going to have to wait for him to come back now. So you get in here and they do act as a windbreak. So, you know, it is essential. And to have them trees there with all of the needles like they should be down to the floor. But the quickest way to address this issue is just make another fire break. Probably about here. So if it does get to that point, because they haven't been thinned, we eventually will do a sort of staggered thinning. There is this a technique called a shaded fuel break, where it's like it's colder if it's shaded, and you remove as much as you can. You see, we're lucky it doesn't have the ladder fuel because it's just straight poles, but and that's another one that, like, the base of the crown, like the bottom of the Christmas tree, is really high up. But if the canopy fire does get in there, you have to have breaks so it can't spread to anywhere else. Now we are thinning down there, doing what they call racks, and all these are paths that eventually, that's in the long term of the woodland management plan, providing social value and also tapping into ecotourism, nature art trail, but that's in the long term. We have to address the things to put in the infrastructure, make working areas, and this is what it does. So it covers, it's hard for the fire guys to get in, so we're making access roads and also making defensible positions, so if it's spread to a certain area they can Jasper, come here, you know, manage the fire from there. We're taking the fuel out, using it for charcoal, so that's a productive use instead of charcoal is just carbon. So you're not, when you burn things and let it just go into smoke, all that carbon gets released. So, but if you make charcoal, which is just carbon, it's you've locked the carbon there, it hasn't gone off, so it does have that function. And then as we're doing the thinnings, we're collecting utility materials to use in the wood, as in like fence posts and way marker signs that we need to mark off, because I can't concentrate. I could be a bit anal, but this is the important bit. I have to put a fire break in there with that shaded bit, so you know the all bloody woods don't go up, and then we don't get to execute the woodland management plan, and then it's a loss for everyone. So we are doing the thinnings. It also, with doing the thinnings after time, it increases the value of the saw logs by 3 times. So you know, if usually with a place like this, what they'll do, an even age, not staggered age, it's clear fell. They're just an exploitative harvest. They just cut it all down, get it out, boom, do fiberboard, what fence post they can. They've even got like fancy, like mad stuff, or lipolysis that you can make different products with, but just cheap fire fuel and what saw logs they can get out of it. Maybe find a supplier for roundwood timber and things like that, but you know, all out, and you're not going to get much money for it, but that's what the usual drill has been in the past. But there's this thing called biodiversity net gain now, and the environmental bill that they'd have problems with that. So yeah, we're increasing the value of the timber as well while we're taking care of this woodland management plan, the wildfire management plan. They've actually got a different branch of firemen, especially for this sort of stuff, different uniforms to be knocking about in for outdoors. So this is what we've added to here. So these are the poles that we've collected, and so the benches we've been using to make the fence posts, and we're going to use them in here for the rewilding, and I'll show you from the front. So we have extended it a bit. We'll do a little corridor here with a gate on, and add more sort of woodland workshop devices, like bark peelers and whatever we need we can make with and utilize the resources that are around, instead of getting them in. So that's you can't really tell, but I'll leave it at that. We're getting on time there, and I've just been mooching about waffling on to you. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.